Hey guys, so I don't know how long my camera actually has, so this may die in the middle of my writing session because I don't know how long I'm going to be writing. I may lose the light because it's 7:57 p.m., so we may or may not have a sunset while I'm writing. But this is my vlog for Blood of Beasts. I don't know what day I'm on because I named them after I film these, and put them on my folder. But anyways, so yeah, I'm trying to do things different in my vlog than just talking about it on the phone or pointing at the screen every day. So essentially, today's goal, I have the scene outlined. I can't really talk about it, I don't think. Because I'm kind of keeping things really tight-lipped from now on. But I have the scene. It comes from the outline that I did the other day that I told you guys about. And my goal, I'm at 14,000 and some odd words. It's not accurate because I have my notes. I was at 14,617 words, and my goal is to get 1,200 at least added to that. So my goal is to get to 15,817. So essentially, I am just going to round up and get to 1,600 because that's easier. So that's my goal, and I guess you won't be able to see my fingers, but at least you can see me. So, never actually watched myself write before, so this should be interesting. It's 7:58, so we're starting off now. Gotta go back and reread the previous scene, kind of refresh my memory. And I gotta learn to ignore the camera so I can get in writer zone because I still feel that performance anxiety because I know I'm on camera. So I'm just gonna completely forget that the camera exists and try to focus on me and the story and get into the zone. That's my goal. So you know how there, so you know how there's a running joke about the Google history of authors. It's kind of what I'm racking up when I'm writing this mystery. Side effects of being tased. My stupid main character got himself into a bit of a mess and got himself tased. So now I'm gonna have to research what happened. So it looks like this is a doctor who wrote this. This is ABC News. So we're going to read about this for a minute and then I'm going to get right back into it. Okay, so here's the deal. I have hit 1,600 words. 1,000. I've been saying 1,600, but I meant 16,000. It's also nighttime, so you can see how long I was writing. But anyways, I'll have to edit some text to like correct myself. But yeah, so I finally hit my word count for tonight, which was 16,000 words, not 1,600. 16,055 to be exact. It is 8:45. So I don't remember what time I started, but that's how long I wrote, and that's how much I wrote. But here's the problem. Siderin ran away from me again. And I swear this guy keeps adding more and more threads to this mystery, and I need him to stop because it's getting a little excessive. He completely took control of the scene from me. My original intention was, see if I can talk about this without spoiling anything. He was supposed to go somewhere and do something involving a criminal. And then I had the idea that he kind of slips up and, you know, says something that he shouldn't to the criminal. And then that scene worked out the way it was, except for the fact that at the end of the scene, he's supposed to snap and attack the criminal. My original intention was like maybe he jumps on the guy, punches him, guards pull him off, scene cut. Pretty simple, right? This guy turns into a werewolf in the middle of the prison and just full on goes for the kill. So he got himself into a bit of trouble. So then when he wakes up, he's talking to a prison guard and the conversation reveals some things, some secrets that I didn't know. And I'm going, you're just now revealing this crap to me? But here's the thing. The conversation led to Siderin searching for a clue to his wife's murder. This clue was not a clue he was supposed to find out. I have the clues listed out. I know where they lead. I have it all planned carefully, I might add. And yet he found another clue. So I have to, like, obviously lead it somewhere. So that's a little bit of work. But then this particular clue doesn't make any sense. I really wish I could get specific, but I can't because of spoilers. So here's the thing. I don't know if this novel is going to be published or not, so if you want to avoid spoilers, then mute this video now. And I'll wave my hands whenever you can, unmute it. So avoid spoilers, mute the screen, or mute the sound now. So, for those of you still with me, welcome to my office. This is where we write stories and create chaos, fun chaos. So, here's the situation. Siderin was going to go talk to a vampire who had murdered his wife's sister long time ago. And he thinks that this might be connected with his wife's murder. Vampire somehow got outside help, sent somebody to finish the job. So the conversation he had with the guard was that the whole attack thing was actually a secret plan to try to get the vampire close enough to bite him, and that way he could have the venom inside of him, and then they could extract the venom and then test it, kind of like testing DNA. Well, the first problem, which I solved when I was writing, was that why can't you just ask the warden to go have it extracted because it's involved with your case? Well, I solved that when I was writing, and Siderin wants to keep it on the down low. He doesn't trust the warden, and if the vampire got outside help, the warden would have had to have been the one to help him due to prison stuff that I invented in there, because it's a prison for supernatural creatures, so it's different. So I solved that one. Second thing though is that if he got outside help, it would not have been his venom. So why is his venom the clue? Why is his venom needed? And that's what I have to work through. That's what I have to work out and piece together. Obviously, feel free to comment down below if you have any suggestions. That's not going to help me now because I'm filming this now, but I'm not posting this for quite a long time. So I have to brainstorm and figure this out. Yeah, we'll see what I can come up with.
One eternity later.
I got it. So, I haven't exactly built the vampires in this particular series because it's not going to be associated with my Mystic series. So, I was thinking that vampires who turn other vampires, the original vampire who sired, if you will, the vampire, its venom will still be inside of him. So, I gotta figure out a better way to explain that though. So, Rathian is the vampire's name. He turned a vampire and got outside help. So if this vampire is his ally, that vampire will actually have his venom inside of him. And that can be tested because when he killed her, then his venom would have been inside of her. Wouldn't they just look for a vampire bite though? Is it weird if vampires can spit the venom? That's weird, right? That's what I thought. This is definitely going to be one. So typically when I get stuck, I leave it as is, especially if I've hit my word count for the day and I wait for my husband to get home at 11:30 from work, which it's 9 o'clock, it's 8:51, so that's going to be a couple hours. And when he gets home, I run it by him and we talk it out and figure it out. I'm trying to do this by myself, so it's weird. And I'm also talking to a camera. That normally doesn't happen. Normally I would sit here and literally stare at the screen until I figured something out. So, yeah. So, vampires can heal the wound on their victims. Why? To cover up their tracks so that when you see the vampire bite, you don't realize it's a vampire. So that's the thing vampires do. So, he would have healed the wound on her body if he bit her, hypothetically. So the vampires can heal the wounds on their victims, so her body would not have had a bite on it. It would have been healed over, but his venom would still be inside of her because of his outside help. So now I just got to figure out how to write that in the scene without it being an info dump at the end, because I'm in the middle of a really good line for the final scene, for the final thing here. So yeah, but you can unmute it now. So now that you're unmuted, let's look at this last line real quick. Siderin nodded and left the prison behind. All he could pray for was that Rathian's venom. Well, I had an epic line, but now I've forgotten it. So So now I gotta rethink my dramatic line and figure out how I'm gonna info dump this without info dumping it. Okay, so once again, if you don't want spoilers, mute this video and I will once again wave my hands when you can unmute it. So mute it now. If you're still one of the folks who don't care about spoilers, thank you for staying with me. So essentially what I did was I actually continued with my line. So we're going to go into another video and I'm going to read this to you. Okay. Siderin nodded and left the prison behind. All he could pray for was that Rathian's venom was found inside his wife, that it was a match. If Rathian indeed had outside help, he would have chosen a vampire that he had sired, and that vampire would have healed any bite on Jindy's body to cover up what he had done, and would have Rathian's venom inside of him. I know it's a run-on, but we're not editing. So there'd be traces of it inside her. Siderin held himself together until he got to the parking lot. It was empty for now, so he let his legs collapse from beneath him and his knees slammed into the pavement hard. He cried out, vomiting onto the ground as the sight of his wife's body once again invaded his mind. His cry of heartache and grief turned into a scream of sheer, raw agony. It morphed into a howl as he turned into a wolf to forget it all, even for a brief moment. So yeah, that's my dramatic line and ending. So I'm gonna wave my hand here. Hopefully this comes out. Unmute it. I probably looked utterly ridiculous. So I ended up at 16,201 words. So let's hopefully keep you guys from seeing that. There's my messy Nook desk. Isn't that lovely? All right, so we're gonna go hopefully too fast for y'all to read it. So we're going to zoom in on at the top here. Here, look at the pretty title. So that is 1,586 words. So if we could jump down here, 1,586 words today in the time that I wrote, which only counting the time that I actually did write, not the times that I had to research and pause and take a break and stuff like that for the research purposes. But that's what happens when your character gets you into some trouble and you have to research stuff in the middle of your writing. I usually try to avoid doing that, and I usually research before I write a scene so that way I don't have to worry about it.